Listen to me. Some of you aren't tired because life is heavy. You're tired because you've been loving people from a place that was never healed. You've been giving from a wound and calling it loyalty. You've been sacrificing from a scar and calling it love. You've been choosing people based on the version of you that was hurting, not the version of you that's growing. And I need you to hear me with your soul. You don't attract what you deserve. You attract what you believe about yourself. And if your belief is broken, your love will be too. Some of you keep asking, why do I keep ending up with the same kind of people? Because your wound has a type. Your pain has a preference. Your unhealed identity has a pattern. And until you confront that pattern, you will keep calling dysfunction chemistry, and you will keep calling trauma connection. But today, we're not running from the truth. We're not hiding behind excuses. We're not blaming the world for the wounds we refuse to face. Because the moment you stop loving from your wounds, you start loving from your worth. And this right here is the world premiere Word on the Streets. Greetings and welcome to the world premiere Word on the Streets. We're live every Thursday at 7:30 Central Standard Time. Don't miss out. After a week full of noise, constant confusion, and distraction, this is the show that cuts through the clutter. It's the hour of the week where real talk meets real truth. We bring conversations that challenge the status quo and stir something deeper in the soul. This isn't just commentary, it's clarity, purpose, and elevation. When you tune in, you're not just watching, you're waking up. A place where common sense still matters and lives. So, ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, this is the world premiere Word on the Streets. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Put your hearts and hands together for the man who discovered his purpose and lives it loud, Larry Extraordinaire Moulton. And Mr. Gotta Get Your Mind Right and Open Your Eyes to the Blind Truth, the motivator himself, the amazing Keith Fletcher. And the man who brings clarity to chaos with the voice of reason you can't ignore, the one and only Mr. Vincent Craig. Make no mistake, there is no word without our host. Welcome to the movement. Welcome to the message. Welcome to the world premiere, Word on the Streets.
And good evening once again, everybody. Good evening, hello. Welcome back, welcome to the show, friends. Welcome to the world premiere Word on the Streets. Folks, we are so excited to be back with you, to be in your home, in your living room, your bedroom, wherever you might be. This is the world premiere Word on the Street. Make no mistake about it. Friends, if this is your first time here, man, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat. We have the one and only. We have the man who brings reason to chaos. The man who works in the corporate world. The man who spent his summer training, teaching youth. He just give up of himself because he doesn't like chaos. If it's a lot of negative energy there, he want to infuse it with some positive energy. Friends, and we're fortunate. You're fortunate. We have him right here on the world premiere Word on the Street. Ladies and gentlemen, show some love for Mr. Vincent Craig. And y'all know this brother here. If you don't know him, you better learn about him. He have a YouTube channel. He call it The Blind Truth. He have a t-shirt gallery that says The Blind Truth. You probably may want to order one of those. But also, friends, he have a large following on Facebook, and he go live 2 and 3 times a week. This man is a retired veteran. This man have defeated stage 4 cancer. This man is on our platform. He go by the Blind Truth, but we all love him here, and he is known as the amazing Mr. Keith Fletcher. Show him some love, y'all. And ladies and gentlemen, y'all may know me as Extraordinaire, and I have a little YouTube channel. It's called Personal Development for the Soul. You ever get a chance, you out there on YouTube, check me out also. But friends, we're so excited to be in your living room. We're going to get this program on and get it started right here, right now. Because tonight, we're going to be chopping it up about stop loving from your wounds. Stop making decisions from your wounds. Stop making major decisions. Fletcher, Vincent Man. So often in life, brothers, we make decisions, man, when we're down and out. We broke down. Think about that word right there, friends. Imagine if you're in a broke down car and you have to get across town. Now, you already know that broke down car is not going to get you where you want to go. So you don't waste your time there. But for some strange reason, some odd reason, when we are broke mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, for some strange reason, brothers, that's when we think it's time for us to make some wise moves in our life, make a gigantic investment, and we just broken to pieces. Make a financial decision, make a relationship decision, make a job decision. We're in the worst possible shape to make some of the most serious decisions of our life. Fletcher, put some meat on that bone for us, brother.
He's on mute.
He's on mute. Yeah.
Mute.
Come on, brother.
You got me now?
Yes,
sir.
we got you
Here.
now.
Sorry for that. I had this distraction. Yeah, man. I done made a lot of decisions, bad decisions when I'm at my lowest. A lot of them, and they caused me a lot of pain and anguish. But I know we're gonna go to another way. But I'm saying when you in that point, I'm gonna say relationship wise. When I was in that point at my lowest, going through a divorce, I was going through a bad time, going through divorce, separated from my family, lost my job, but the relationship version of me trying to be with someone else when my heart was somewhere else, man. It didn't just hurt me, it hurt the other person. You know what I'm saying? I destroyed a couple lives, you know what I'm saying, in that anguish, in that grief, So when you when people get in that path, I remember I was telling somebody, they were going through something, they were talking about the guy, and I said, right, she said he did see that, said negative stuff about him. And I was like, well, he said, well, Keith, you not that type of guy. I said, one time I was that guy, you know what I'm saying? I caused some anguish because I was going through something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was hurt, and I was thinking that was the way to heal myself. I was selfish thinking about myself, and I wasn't ready, to move on, and I hurt other people in the process. You know what I'm saying? I hurt people, like you say, hurt people. So I understand that wound before you move forward. I know we're gonna get deep into it, but both ways, not just hurting yourself, you hurt other people in the process too.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Selena, Mariana, and my son Cedric, who's joined the show. He's been a little busy, but it's good to see him on. Good to see him. He said he's been busy. He's been finishing up welding school, currently welding now, and he's actually listening to the show now.
Awesome.
He'll be actually graduating April the 27th. Again, he'll be moving on to Firefighter Academy on the 27th for fire science.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
It don't stop, man. It don't stop. So that's what I'm talking about.
Gotcha. And he'll be a veteran as of April the 20th from serving the country. So thank you for your service too, son.
Absolutely.
Yeah, glad to have you here. No, I'd like to add, and gentlemen, I've been pretty busy, but I won't ever use that as an excuse. So I tried to look at the, what do you call it? Yeah, look at the blog. And it's just, for me, it's I look back and I know sometimes people are conditioned by the environments that they grew up in or based on the trauma. You hear how some people choose their mates or their boyfriends or their girlfriends based on what they've experienced. It's sad to say, but we had people that have been, some have just been taken through the ringer, right? And they tend to gravitate towards that, even though they don't want to, but it's a conditioning of they felt like they're being loved. And in actuality, they aren't being loved because they have to first love themselves. And if they're loving themselves, then they won't connect and get to those types of relationships. But we've heard the saying where people say, hurt people hurt people. I think loving people hurt people too. It's just that they don't always know how to express it. So there's a lot of meat on this bone, guys. So I'm just sit back in the cut and back to you, extraordinary
Yeah,
Keith.
there's a lot of meat on this bone. There's a lot of gravy also in this, and we're gonna be serving up some good food for you all tonight. So if y'all don't mind, pull up, come a little closer, take a moment, text someone, and let them know, hey, world premiere Word on the Street is on right now. Invite them to come in, and also if you haven't, please do subscribe, give us a like, and leave us a comment. But this thing about loving from your wounds, oftentimes in life, friends, I'm just going to keep it real and 100. Sometimes we come from a background in that that's all we know, that's all we've seen is how people deal with each other, how they handle things. And we get the notion that this is the way. We're learning from hurt people that never gotten over that pain and hurt. And because we haven't taken the time, they haven't taken the time to assimilate and communicate and explain that they really live in a jungle life. Their mind is not connected with the things they really want and go after. They living in a survival mode.
Mhm.
And so many of us out there, we're living in a survival mode, and we're so conditioned in living in a survival mode until we have made it normal.
Mhm.
We have normalized survival, and we call it life. And everybody you meet, not everyone, but y'all get the gist. Most everybody you meet, what's their most common line? Man, it's rough out here. Man, it's tough out here. Seldom will you run across somebody saying, it's great, high five. We're not conditioned to be that way. And if you are that way, people look at you kind of sideways. Y'all feel what I'm talking about?
I do. I kind of gravitate towards back when we had the discussion a couple of shows ago, and we were talking about organized chaos. And I laugh because I remember Keith saying that he likes to flourish in the organized chaos, right? I'm going to pull a Keith Fletcher right here. Keith, can you answer me this question, Mark? When you say you like the organized chaos, what environment or what got you to liking the organized chaos and actually being able to flourish in certain things like that? Was it your atmosphere? Was it your upbringing? Like, I'm curious.
Well, like I tell my kids when I grew up, man, it was always something. You know what I'm saying? It was always something coming your way, so you had to be ready for it. So I say now, like I look at it now that I'm older, like it was angles. I can see the angles. So you know what I'm saying? When I knew how to handle it, and I knew what I was going to do in the chaos. I know what I was going to do. I always knew the other person wasn't going to do what I was willing to do. You know what I'm saying? So in that chaos, I always figured out what I was going to do. You know what I'm saying? So I was like saying when I grew up in Louisiana, then I had to move to Texas. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people, I tell that story all the time, but that was a hard time for me. You know what I'm saying? It was very chaotic. You know what I'm saying? But I used to tell myself, this is where I'm at now. I'm 50 years old. I say that all the time. This ain't where I'm at, but this is what I had to adapt to the situation. You know what I'm saying? So for me, whatever it was, I adapted to it. You know what I'm saying? And I thrived. It is what it is. I didn't go no wars. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I didn't make excuses. I just found my way, fit myself in the slot, and found good out of it. That what worked for me. The environment just found the good out of it. I don't know if that's the answer, but that's what worked for me.
Well, I was wanting to know because it's like, was the environment there like fast paced? Was it a little rough? Because let's be real, we both come from like hard areas, right? Yours may be a little bit more from like the New Orleans side, from like the Louisiana side, right? But streets is the streets, right? There was some exposure that you was exposed to that I wasn't, and vice versa. Was it that helped helped to shape
Well,
you, but then did that type of atmosphere help create certain habits?
well, with me, my like I said, I guess I came out. My grandmother, man, she wasn't no regular grandmother. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't no, she wasn't no. But my grandmother was the type. She was giving you game, and I want to say game. She was talking to me. You know what I'm saying? But she wasn't talking to me like from a soft, nice grandmother. She was talking about me, telling me what to do in the situation. You're gonna meet people, they're gonna do this, and you gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? She was like, and basically she gave me permission to do whatever I take, you know what I'm saying, to do what I was. So again, the environment I came up in with my cousins, even my cousins, like we came up with a big and a lot of them boys. We fought all the time. We wrestled all the time. We was tough all the time, you know what I'm saying? So when we got into the streets, having that was what it was, So then I had uncles that taught me to be vicious. You know what I'm saying? So my viciousness. Then I met my partner. It was just meant to be. You know what I'm saying? And I was willing to do whatever. So when I moved to Texas, away from it, that even amplified it because now I'm in a whole other state. You know what I'm saying? I'm by myself, and I'm finding people. And what it was for me, I can put, like I say, I can put myself around people. Even in the military, I would find a group of people that I fit well in. And most of the group of people weren't no good people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they were bad people, but most of the good people that I put myself around had the same mentality I had. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I put. I think that's what made me survive because I could find myself and put myself around the people that fits me. You know what I'm saying? They're going to protect me and I'm going to protect them. So I think that's what it was right there. It was more like a family environment. You know what I'm saying? If you came around me, we had loyalty to each other. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be loyal to you, and I expect you. I expect you to be loyal to me. And if you ain't, you know what I'm saying, we're going to have a problem because I'm ready to. I'm just saying I'm going to be that with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was with me. So chaos. So whatever came, it came. I was ready for it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I was ready. And I'm sure not know that my grandmother reared us like that. Like if somebody jumped on my cousin, my family, we better. And you better pick something up, you know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't know. And you came back home, and like I'm gonna tell you this story. Like one time I went to school, and I had a fight, and a white guy he whooped me. I get home to my grandmother, and I get my grandmother say, "What you doing home? What's wrong with you?" I said, "I had a fight." She said, "Oh yeah." And the first question she asked me, say, "Who won?" I said, "I lost." You got
Going back out there.
What you saying? Like I didn't. He said, "I lost." Well, who you? My grandmother, like I knew I could fight. She say, "You lost." He said, "Who you lost?" I said, "I let a white boy whoop me." She said, "You let a white boy whoop your ass?" And she said, "Man, she beat the mess out of me." She whooped me. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, so I'm suspended. So I go back to school. I done got kicked out of school. I go back to school and I see him. And I whooped them. I jumped them. I whooped them. I come back home and suspended again. I go to my grandmother and tell my grandmother, I'm like, "Mom, later, the guy that beat me." I said, "Man, I whooped him. I beat him down." And she said, yeah, okay, that's good. So I said, "Well, wait, I'm suspended." So my mama gonna beat me. She's like, "Nah, she ain't gonna touch you." You know what I'm saying? So she was cool with that. She was cool with that fighting. She was cool with that. Somebody messing with you. That was the type of grandmother I had, man. So anything, like she'll tell you pick up something and bust some white meat. That's what she'll tell you.
All right.
It makes you guess.
Wow, 13, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sorry, man. I'm just saying the environment. I'm just telling you the environment I came up in.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I went long. But
That's all right.
Yeah,
That's all
but
right,
that chaos. What I'm saying about the chaos. I'm thinking out, but the chaos
Right.
that I came up in, man, that was the chaos.
Yeah.
right? Moving right along in the year 2026.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some
Hey,
people,
yeah.
go ahead on, man. Go ahead
Yeah,
on.
No, I was going to read Latiana's comment and then just kind of piggyback off what she said. She says, I do believe and have seen hurt people hurting people, and
Yeah.
it's messed up. I've been hurt plenty, and it sucks. That's not something I would find okay to do to someone. I just don't understand how people do that. And then
Yeah.
she says, I love passionately and had to come to terms that some people are just not made that way, which makes me have to be harder and love less now for sure. Man, that's deep.
Wow,
That's
that
deep.
is deep. That is
That
deep.
that
That's
last comment
deep.
she
That's
said,
deep. That's vulnerable and that's open. And
yeah,
that's what we need,
yeah,
brothers and sisters. We
yeah,
need to just be honest about
yeah,
what our life. Because let's be honest, if you haven't, just keep living. Man, nothing hurts you more than a relationship gone bad. Oh, that is worse than death almost because it's not a prescription you can get written up for you, make the pain go away. And the reason why I think it's so devastating is because you allow yourself to be open to somebody in a way that you just don't go around being that open with anyone. So someone get that close to you, the everything that makes you you, and when that is betrayal come upon that, that is a difficult thing, extremely difficult thing to get over, and to talk about, and to share. But see, the healing is in the talking about it. The healing is in really being able to express yourself. Because if we don't, we could get locked in, just like the speaker said, Cornell Bruce, the speaker from the beginning, dysfunction. We get so tied up in a dysfunction relationship. We get so tired of being dysfunctional, functional ourselves until we start thinking that that's chemistry. We misidentify being dysfunction as chemistry. That ain't love, dog. That ain't love, man. Ma'am, that's not love. That's a dysfunctional person that you done got hooked on to. You all done got hooked into something that is totally toxic, and all in the end is always an argument here, an argument there, disharmony there. It's an infested situation that you got tied up in because you misthought it was chemistry. Because it's so easy to get locked into something identifiable. We identify with wounds. We identify with disagreement. We identify with chaos. We identify with the worst thing because that's what we always saw before us. That's the way it is. But the road less traveled is that road of personal development. And when that's my whole mark right there. I truly believe when you just take things and make it personal, take it personal, man. Take it personal. When you make it personal upon yourself, that's when you start making some inward changes. Somebody talk to me or grab me an umbrella, man. I'm getting wet out here.
no, I go ahead and pick it up, man. It's I like to piggyback off what Latiana said because she said something, and I don't think a lot of people realize that when she was vulnerable. She says, uh, "I love passionately, and I had to come to terms that some people are just not made that way, which makes me have to be harder and love less now for sure." And again, that's real talk, right? Because a lot of us have gone through that. And sometimes because of the trauma that happened in the last relationship, the next relationship that comes along, the person that we're with is a recipient of the trauma that we're still trying to overcome from because we
True,
haven't healed from that. So
true,
it's like it keeps people from trusting and because we feel like, okay, they're gonna see it as like a weakness, right? And it
true.
isn't the person's fault that they date now because they could be A1 top class. But if they haven't dealt with the trauma, I'll give you a great example. I'm not trying to put my mom out on blast. When she married my dad, there was a lot of trauma, right? Well, let's go back. My mom lost her first husband, which was my oldest sister's dad in Vietnam. So she had to deal with that trauma. Then she had to deal with the trauma from being with my dad, who made it from Vietnam. It wasn't right. Let's just say that. I'm not going to put him out in the street like that. There was some trauma there. So when she finally got with a guy, her next husband, the next husband had to deal with the trauma that she never got dealt with because
Never,
they
yeah,
weren't going to psychiatrists and getting help. It was like, hey, you fend for yourself. Let's have family support. But then once the smoke clears, you by yourself,
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
a lot of people don't have that support to get through their trauma. And it's like that next person might be the recipient. It may be a good person, but if the person hasn't healed, it doesn't always work out the right way. So
yeah,
I appreciate what Latiana said. What I'd like to say is keep your head up, keep being you, be yourself. Don't be a fool, right? Your dad didn't raise one, your mom didn't raise one. They're both on this platform watching, right? They've instilled some good things in you. It's just life happens. There's a phrase, hurt people, right? Then you always hear the phrase, treat people like you want to be treated. I've added a caveat to that. When people say treat people like they want to be treated, what if people like getting treated like, and I'm gonna say this and I don't like to curse, what if people getting treated like shit?
yeah.
People gonna treat you just like the shit because that's what they
That's,
like to hear,
and
and
that may be all they know.
that's what they know, right? There's an old phrase, I can't give you what I don't have,
That's
right?
right.
I put myself out there. Cedric's on here, right? There was some trauma within the family, right? Because of my emotional and my temper and stuff with his mom and this and that. Was it the best example? No. But I will tell you this. It's not easy always trying to raise another man's kid when you don't have a blueprint. It's not an excuse. I didn't have a blueprint. I had men in, men out of the house, men in, men out of the house over at my mom's, right? I'm putting myself out there, right? There's nothing to hide from me because I'm a better man today than I was 20 some 30 years ago. When you're trying to raise another man's child and you don't have that blueprint, and quite frankly, I'm dealing with the trauma of abandonment, you don't know what to do. So
Yeah,
you learn and you try to put the pieces together to try to make it work and say, hey,
yeah,
this is what I knew. This is what I'm
right,
gonna pass on, and I'm gonna take some bits and pieces from it and try to get better.
right,
So, Latiana, please continue to
right,
protect your heart, use the spirit of discernment, and your king will come.
right. What's up, Keith Fletcher?
I'm just listening to some good stuff. I don't be want to say the wrong thing.
Man, come on.
No, I'm not just trying. I want. This is deep right here. This is deep, and I want to say the right thing. I'm past removed from my trauma. From me and my. Let me say it like this. Like I had my first marriage. Me and my wife. She's on him now. We had trauma in our marriage for years. Now, past my wife. Once I got past my wife, I'm being honest. I'm being true on here. I never had a problem with another woman. I never had a problem with no other woman past her after her. Every woman that I met was in good standards, good quality. You know what I'm saying? The person was me. I was hurt. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one was hurt. I'm the one didn't know myself. So me not knowing myself, not knowing how to be a man, knowing how to be a husband, not knowing how to be a boyfriend, not how to be a dad. Those things cost me, and I was learning on the go. So by learning on the go, I say this all the time. So people became casualties of war. They became casualties of my not understanding me or not knowing. I hurt some people in the process. You know what I'm saying? I hurt my wife. I hurt some of my kids. I hurt some of my girls, some good women. Even Nina was good, some good women. I hurt them in the process. Along the way, I learned some things too. I learned who I was. You know what I'm saying? I told this story one time when me and Nina was broke up and I was trying to change. And I was having a spiritual moment with the Most High. And I asked him, I said, man, send me somebody I need, not nobody I want. Because the woman I want is nothing
Yeah, I like that, Keith. Let me
tell you, we sharing some good, some powerful stuff on this platform tonight, friends. If I don't know about you all out there listening, but we really putting some intimate stuff in front of your eyes and in front of your ears tonight. I certainly hope you all respect where we're coming from tonight. If you do, please click like and subscribe. We're going to take a short commercial break, friends, but we will be back. Don't go anywhere, friends. This break is really short. But even in our commercial break, we got a message for you. Sit back, check it out.
All right, family. Now it's time to go deeper. This is the moment where we peel back the layers, challenge old thinking, and get real about what's truly holding us back and what can finally push us forward. So grab your journals, lean in, and don't just listen, engage. And if something resonates with you tonight, do us a favor, subscribe, like, and share this message with someone who needs it, because the conversation we're having is bigger than us. This is the world premiere Word on the Streets.
Let me talk to the part of you that's been quiet for too long. The part of you that knows you've been shrinking yourself just to keep certain people comfortable. The part of you that's been bleeding emotionally while pretending you're fine. The part of you that's been loving people who never had the capacity to love you back. Hear me. You cannot heal in the same environment that broke you. You cannot grow while protecting the very thing that's been killing your confidence. You cannot rise while dragging the weight of people who benefit from you staying wounded. Some of you have been loving like you're still trying to earn your place in somebody's life, still trying to prove you're worthy, still trying to convince people to choose you. But that's not love, that's survival. That's the child in you doing the adult's job. And I need you to stop. Stop apologizing for wanting peace. Stop negotiating with people who only show up when they need something. Stop calling it loyalty when it's really self-betrayal. Because when you heal, your standards change, your voice changes, your choices change, your entire identity shifts. You stop chasing people who don't see you. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't hear you. You stop loving from the wound, and you start loving from the healed, whole, powerful version of you that was buried under years of pain. This is your turning point. This is your line in the sand. This is the moment you stop loving from the place you were broken and start loving from the place you were born to become.
All right, world premiere Word on the Streets community. Keep those comments coming as we get locked back in to stop loving people from your wounds. Let's get back into it.
Stop loving from your wounds. Stop loving from a deficit. Stop loving from that dark place. And not only in relationship, stop, this thing, it goes beyond relationship. A lot of time when we look for a job, when you're broken, you know what we end up doing, Fletcher, Vincent? I just want a job. So we end up just getting any job. And you know why that is, friend? It's because you're moving about in life from your wounds. And any kind of job just won't do it. So you get that job, your attitude is horrible. Number one, you're doing something you don't want to do, which is my definition of work. My definition of work is having to do stuff you don't want to do. That's work. But anyway, I digress. Somebody, let's get back into it, brothers.
Yeah, let me read the comments. Said put something in here. He says, all you can do is look in the mirror and ask God, all right, what's the next mission? If it isn't meant to work in your favor, he has a different mission for you that will succeed. I like that. It's
I
funny
guess.
Cedric is saying that, right? Cedric is my son. He's the oldest. If I'm not mistaken, all the boys are 5 years apart. So he's 31. Hope that's right, Sid. I think you're 31. Just turned 31. Uh, what I like when he said that is for the longest I was carrying a heavy weight because of me and his mom's marriage didn't make it right. I don't ever it just wasn't the perfect timing for me, wasn't the perfect timing for her. But I like what he said because at some point I had to forgive myself and I had to stop carrying that trauma because I was holding that weight of the world of I had an elephant on my back. Like I was a failure. I was a failure. One thing I always said was after seeing my mom go through 3 divorces, like the first one was a shock and it hurt like hell. But I had to come to grips with understanding of everything has an expiration and sometimes God has you on a mission. Like I really truly felt like I was bought into Sid and his mom's life at the right time because of what Sid needed at that time, right? And to be quite frankly, I needed Sid, right? Because I was the parent, but at the same time, I learned how to be a parent. Even though I made some mistakes along the way in that parenting journey, it was some things that I was able to fix. One thing I will add is I remember when I was going to counseling and I was wanting to save my marriage. The one thing Say's mom told me is when I was going to celebrate recovery, it's like a 28-week program at the church to where you go and just get it out. One thing she told me, she says, if you're doing this for me, you're doing it for the wrong reason. She said, you need to do it because it needs to be genuine. And it's something that you want to do because if not, you're going to forever be uh, holding that against me if it doesn't work. Right. So I didn't want that, but at the same time, it was too late. I always remember the light came on for me eventually. Yes, it hurt to get the divorce. Yes, there were some lessons learned, but I had to understand that until I was healed and until I allowed myself to be alone, because sometimes people just give a people there, like you said, just to take a job, just to have something. Some people have to, like, they're not comfortable being alone. Like, they really feel like they got to have someone or else they can't function.
Exactly.
I had to come to the reality of until I get the help that I need, or not necessarily help, until give more space for God and less of me. If I didn't do that, it didn't matter what relationship I was in. I sit here and I listen to Keith when he was talking about the first marriage, right? Sometimes I wonder when Say's mom sees me because we have a son together, uh, and my oldest son's mom. I'm thinking, I wonder what they think because they're probably thinking, why wasn't he like this when we were together? Right. I know that goes on in the back of people's heads sometimes, right? But it's like, hey, sometimes it's I don't know, man. It's
Yeah.
am I sitting here saying this wrong, Keith? Of like the wife I have now is getting a better version of me than what my ex-wife did? Like, is that wrong to say? Like, I've
Yeah.
evolved and I've dealt with the trauma. It's an everyday journey for me. Like
It
really
is.
is.
I think you will. You saying it well. What would you say, Fletcher?
Now, listen, Selena on here, you know, like the trouble, like, let me say this, and I'm going to answer your question. Like you said about your mom. My mom, and I'm not put went through trauma. You know, my divorce, my dad, and other situations. So she had trauma with me. And me and Selena, we got married young. Her mama had trauma with relationships and starting with me. So, like you said, the word hurt people. So while me and Selena, we starting off new trying to be together, it's called that trauma spilled on into our relationship. You know what I'm saying? It spilled on into our, you know what I'm saying? They taking one side, my mama on my side, her mama on her side. Her mama disrespecting me, my mama disrespecting her. We disrespect it just was all bad. I'm gonna ride with my mama, she gonna ride with her mom. We don't know what's right or wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it caused a lot of problems. And then we young trying to figure out each other. We don't even know each other. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You know, so we going through all that. Then, like you said, we trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? We trying
Yeah.
to survive, trying to figure
Yeah.
out things was
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and again, I think Celine was 18 or 19, so she ain't never left Louisiana. She never experienced nothing. And we moved to another state. We moved to Hawaii. We moved. You know what I'm saying? We around no family. You know what I'm saying? Meet new people, but so we went through all our trauma, all our getting together, breaking up, coming back together. For me, I don't want to lose nothing. I told myself I'd never be divorced, so that was me losing. I didn't want to lose to no dude. No dude could take my woman. I don't want to lose. So to stay with Selena, and it wasn't a point that I know I loved and cared about her, but it was to a point that I didn't want to lose. I didn't want to lose her. If I lose her, I mean I lost. I mean I failed. You know what I'm saying? And I saw a problem. I'm a solutionist. No, I can't. Not me. Not nobody else can take what's mine. Now I start saying it's mine. It ain't about me and Selena no more. It's about mine. So putting all that stuff together, and when we break up, it wasn't about no love no more. It's about conquer. I'm trying to conquer her to show her. You know what I'm saying? Now, and I'm trying to make her pay. So throughout the relationship, the marriage, we hurt each other tremendously. Well,
Wow.
I started meeting other women, and I'm meeting these women, and they suffer. But again, let me show you something. I don't have my mom in the middle of it. I don't have Nina mom in the middle of it. You see what I'm saying? I don't have no kid. I don't have all these problems in the middle of it. So now the relationship we have can blossom. I don't have no trauma in the middle of it. So when I meet this person, I can meet on even ground. I can be Keith Fletcher. So when I was with Selena in our marriage, we had all this trauma. Matter of fact, her sisters, we helped raise her sister. So we a new married couple. We got her little sisters and brothers coming in our relationship. We having kids. We got all of us. Now I meet these other women. I meet them on even ground. They get to see the true Keith Fletcher in his glory. You know what I'm saying? Out,
Yeah.
have fun and all this. So, and there's a true story that happened. Me and Nina broke up. We separated. I'm living in another state. And I remember we went out. I think Ladonna came. We took her to a concert. And I asked, after the concert, I said, Celine, let's go out. I'm taking me and Sharon out. Me and my wife is dating now. We go to a club. I go to the bar. I get a drink. I bring Nina a drink. I bring Sharon a drink. That's what I do, you know. I go off. I go do my thing. I'm dancing. And Sharon at the club. She talking to guys. We just having a great time. Come back from the club. We get in the car to go. I said, hey, Nina, we're going to stay at my house. You know what I'm saying? I take you home in the morning. We ride in the car. I don't know if Nina remember that. Sharon grabbed my hand. And I got it and I kissed it. And I put it down. And Nina said, oh, hell no. Hell no. Said, you ain't never did that to me. You ain't never showed me no face. You out there letting her dance. You dance with other women. She dance with other men. You ain't jealous. You ain't tripping. You ain't nothing. Why is that? Why is that? You never did that with me. And I was sitting there looking like whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm going through the motion like, whatever. I ain't going through that. I ain't about to argue about this, you know what I'm saying? I'm not about to argue. So I leave, I come back and I'm thinking about it, what she said. I didn't do those things with her. I didn't show those things that I showed with her. Because all that stuff done built up over time. All them people was involved. But when I got to Sharon, just me and her. We got to nurture, you know what I'm saying? We got to nurture that love and that stuff like that. So that point right there, I don't know, Selena, that point when I seen, and when I sit down and I thought about it, damn, we didn't. I remember Sharon asked me, well, did you and Selena do this? And I'm sitting up saying, nah.
Hmm.
No, you know what I'm saying? No. So now that I'm going forward, I'm just say this. With me, I had to heal that stuff with Selena. Me and Selena,
Yes.
I had to go back for me, Ben. Those questions that you asked, I
Yeah.
had to go find out. Because I'm going back to my mom. My mama was holding on to stuff from trauma in her past to this day about my daddy. About I didn't want to have that. So I said, I got to go find out and I got to go apologize. Because something, we so easy to blame somebody else. It was so easy. Well, we got divorced because she wouldn't, we never looked. So when I had to look in that mirror and say, I'm not worried about what she did. I'm going
Right.
to do things that I did.
Yes.
And I'm going to go heal that. And like we used to stay on the phone, like I'm telling her, Selena come to my house, she stay at my house. Her and my wife like best friend. They call each other wife. I go stay. If I go to Selena's house, I can go in the house. I'm not gonna knock on the door. I'm gonna walk in. She cooking dinner. She'll fix my plate, bring it to me. We're gonna eat. It's like that. But it took years to heal all that trauma that we have. So the questions that you have, yeah. I'm even with me. You know what I'm saying? Like Selena got a husband. I know an ex-husband knew a boyfriend. I'm to the point like I want Selena to be happy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm this true stuff. I want her to find somebody. I want somebody to treat her right. I want her to succeed in whatever she wants to. So to have that question, do she wonder about that? If I'm that person, once you cut that in, I don't think Nina worry about that. You know what I'm saying? I think she wants the best for me now that we done heal. But if you ain't healed, probably not. But I know I'm going along. What I want, and we done talked about it. I want the best for her. She want the best for me. I, because at the end of the day, guess who watching? Like you said, those kids, those grown, them people that you think grown, they still watching.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
still look.
Yeah.
They want that still. As grown as they want their mom and dad to still be able to come together and
Hmm.
talk together and all this stuff. They still want that.
Yeah. That right there, Keith, that's like where that's priceless because what you're doing, and I'm glad you're sharing that because we're giving better examples to our children.
Yeah.
Like even though certain things didn't pan out, we still because when I got a divorce, I was hurt, but at the end of the day, it was about the kids,
Yep.
right? It was like how do I the best thing that we can do to show our sons and our daughters even after a divorce, right? It's not ideal. It's not the prettiest thing,
Mhm.
but being able to share a space later, like I second what you said because right now with my ex-wife says, "Mom, we can be in the same room. I can talk to her husband. I can pick up the phone, talk to him. Me and him can chop it up." That's what it's about because it's like I'm not trying to get up in the business now. At some point, when Luke was younger, right?
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
wanted to know the individual that was going to be around my son.
Most
Right?
definitely.
That was only, and I didn't have a motive. Now I couldn't do that with Said's dad just as much, and Said can probably attest to that, right? But again, that's part of the
But that's
overlook,
for the growth too. You had to heat.
the
Right.
growth.
You had to
The
grow.
new me right now can coexist. My wife, we can all go out, hang out, married couples with my ex, and it's like a lot of people look at it as like that's kind of weird. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that's not weird. That takes maturity to do that.
Let me say this to
That's
you.
gross.
Let me say
Wisdom.
let me say this about growth on there and Selena. Selena ex-husband, me and them friends to this day. Me and them had a fight in the middle street in front of my house. I'm talking about knocked down, drag out. You know what I'm saying? And years later, we got like he got two boys, Skylar, Spencer. They like my son. You know what I'm saying? We had to heal that. I remember when he was driving, he was he was going to Oklahoma, he was coming through Texas years after he called me. He said, Keith, I want to come by. Can I stop by and talk to you? I said, yeah. We both up. He had his boys with him, because I'm his older son, man, him real tight. I like him a lot. But I like Skylar, the little younger too, but the older was more there. So we had to heal that. You know what I'm saying? We had to fix that, and we were man enough to both apologize to each other. To this day, like we'll call each other now and laugh and talk with each other. You know what I'm saying? That's growth to be. Because again, these kids, they grown, we call them kids, but they watching us. We the first one they see, hear, and touch. You know what I'm saying? This is who they show, like when they get in a situation, they gonna remember and say, you know what? I need to handle this way. I've seen this before. I need to be the bigger man in this part. My dad and Mr. Keith was the bigger man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to get to that point. So seeing that is dear to that. Like I said, when something happened, Spencer called me. I called Spencer. Hey man, this. All right, Mr. Keith. Hey man, call your dad, bro. All right. You know what I'm saying? It's more. It's like, it take a village. So like I said, it's all in that, wrapped up in that, and it's all about growth. But it's all about growth. And somebody, you know what I'm saying? It might not be the other person, but it can be you. I'm saying, I'm talking to whoever on this thing right now. You going through this. You sit up saying, well, they should know. What about you? You can be the bigger person. All it takes is one step. That's it.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
That is the point right there. I find most importantly because in real life it's not about the other person. You get to a point where you've gone through all of the hell and back, all of the fussing and fighting and carrying on. The growth is when you allow yourself to heal, and when you heal, then you're able to move forward. And just like what Vincent and Fletcher said, you find yourself growing, and you look at yourself, and even the old person who or the relationship you once had will see, damn, you wasn't that way with me. That because when we were together, I was operating from wounds, from pain. I've healed in some of those areas now. And
They
I'm
help you heal. Really, they helped you heal. Now,
right.
you help.
Those past situations help you look in that mirror
Yeah.
and figure out some things in your personal life you had to let go of because you can't go forward being that same person. They definitely help you move forward and drop some of those characteristic and behavior you had because to hold on to it, it will perpetuate and the next relationship and the next one after that would be the same old thing. You see, we have to get to a point where it's not all about what's the person outside. You. You out there. You have to make that personal decision within yourself because you can't fix someone else, but you can fix you. You can fix yourself. You can move forward. You can make some personal decision. Okay, I see. I see where I might have could have said this differently.
Hmm.
I might have could have done this different. And if we be real and honest, we know we have those chances, opportunity where when we reflect, we may have could have done a couple of things different than the way we did it or said it the way we did it. Because sometimes, we do things purposely, I might add, knowing the result. We want that result and we do it that way. But if you want to move forward and don't want your life to be dysfunctional with every relationship until you're an old man and you die, you may want to change a few things. Talk to me, somebody.
No, I'm laughing at what said, what he put in the chat because I was telling him, he was saying that my youngest, and Keith knows because my youngest and his son are like best friends. He says, he said the OV needed to come out more for like Luke. And I told him, I said, yeah, I said, but the standard had to be set with said and V. I said, so I apologize for going so hard on him. Then he said, so I said, what did he say? I said, you're the oldest said, I said, so you had to be the example and the standard. And I said, yes, you're right. I was lighter on baby brother, but you and VT got the blunt. So he said, I had to get the standard from both Keith and Vincent. He said, they did not play.
Mm.
But the good thing I like about that is, man, like Keith would drop an F bomb in a minute, right? And I knew it. Was I cool with it? I was like, hey, I can't take he ain't hurting my kids. I'm like, I grew up with like my mom, she cussed like a sailor. I was just trying to be a little bit different.
Tell me what you told me. Tell me what you told. Tell him what you told me. You told me when you Kyle was friends, and and Luke and Vince said, man, Luke wanted to spend the night, start staying over. And Vince said, well, Keith, I like Kyle, Kyle, good kid, and I want him to be over, but man, you be dropping them F-bombs and all that
Man.
stuff. I said, well, you keep that in where he at, because I'm going to curse when I went to my damn house. I said, man, he probably cursing anyway, man. The kid cursed. That ain't got nothing.
And he was cursing. So he
and
was
he was
cursing.
cursing. And look, he called me back one day, showing down. I looked at Luke, he cursing up the stars. I told him.
Cursing on the phone. Yeah.
But no, I don't know if you remember, his middle son, V told him, he said, Dad, Mr. Keith might curse. I don't know if you remember that. He might curse and do all that, but if he was Mr. Keith, he's gonna be protected like he Mr.
Yes.
Son.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's gonna protect you like you
gonna
are
protect
his
like
own kid.
Like his own kid. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's a kid telling you those things. And like I said, again, we talking about healing wounds. It take other people, even kids can help you heal.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But we gotta allow them to come in. And like I say, it's a community. Like I said again, a lot of people help me. Even my wife, like I said, my wife's not. I remember she heard me and Selena arguing one time, and I went out, when you hurt. And I remember she told me one day, she said, let me tell you something. After I got off the phone, she said, if you ever talk to me like that, I'm telling you, you will never see me or your kids again. You know what I'm saying? I'm better not hear you talk to Selena, not around me like that. You know what I'm saying? So it takes other people to come in and make you realize, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? And help you grow. And to say it and let go. I'm gonna say
and check it out, brothers. I don't know if this was never me, but I know this happened in the world out there. So let's talk about this a little bit. A lot of people, man, they get in these bad arguments. I can't speak for women, but I know a lot of guys do this. Kick out, fall out. I mean, man, they just tow each other up. The next day, the brother want to go and just buy nothing but gifts, as though those things is gonna fix what the ailment is. And
I was a master at that. I'm gonna tell you, I was that guy.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this though. Larry, I'm gonna tell you this though. You're saying
you was a master of that.
Go ahead, man.
You're saying some truths, Larry. It's funny, but not funny. But at the same time, we tend to become a product of our upbringing. And I think the thing that also changed with me is it wasn't that I didn't respect women or I didn't respect people. The one thing our premarital counselor said when I got married this time is, he said, Lucy, you got to understand. He said, where Vincent comes from in Oak Cliff, they holler at each other. Like they yell and scream at each other. It's not purposeful. It's not it's just, that's what they did. But I had to understand that my wife came from a traumatic relationship with her ex-husband. So I had to learn what not to do to cause that to trigger our relationship to become better. So again, the change had to come from within because I didn't want to strike out and lose again. Right. I already lost one wife.
Right.
Being angry, emotionally upset, quick-tempered, whatever. Right. I had to get to a point where it's like, look, there's a saying, and here's another quote, Keith, when your pain is great enough, then and only then will you do something about it. My pain was great enough when my ex-wife moved out of the house and took Sid, and I got my other two boys sitting there, patting me on the back when I'm crying, saying, Dad, it's going to be okay. I lost something great, but I gained something later on as I decided to grow up and give God his time to heal me. So.
Wow. That's real. That's good talk, brother.
Yeah, that's good. But like I said, all this, and I want to tell the people that I'm still growing, me. I'm still learning.
Oh, man. You're not by yourself, brother.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I was trying to say about them gifts. I was the master, getting gifts. I remember, I'm just saying, when me and my first wife, when we used to buy, I used to buy some. I remember one time, it's so funny, I probably messed up like I always did. I bought her some gold earrings, diamond earrings. I bought her flowers. I got her a card. I don't know, a bracelet, and I put it all together. And my partner was there, and she got out of work, and he came in, and he looking like, man, you bought all that? I said, watch how she act when she come in. Watch this, man. Mm-hmm. She picked up the thing, looked at the card, threw it to the side, picked the watch up, put the earrings up, looked at me, the flower, said, boom, and put it down and walked away. He said, man, why she do that? And I'm young. I'm like, you see what I mean, man? She don't appreciate that. No,
Yeah, yeah.
you see how men think?
Right, right, right.
Like,
Exactly.
you know,
That's
that's
only that's only part. That's only part of the
that's
story.
a part of the thing. You see what I'm saying? But I'm young.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, man, that should fix everything. That should make everything okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't make it okay. When you're young and you don't understand, you don't know,
Mhm.
you're getting them something that made it better, but it ain't making it better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
times you did this? You know what I'm saying? And you think that's just enough, then you think everything's supposed to go back to hunky dory because you don't bought me that, No, you know what I'm saying? And again, women are more different, more affectionate, more emotional than men, And then, like you say, where I grew up at, we argue, holler, fight, you know what I'm saying? And then we cool the next day. That's our family. That's how I was raised.
Right.
You don't keep
Right.
on, like Vince said, like your wife, everybody's not like that. You know what I'm saying? My wife now, she tell me that you don't just holler and argue with me, then you think you about to sit there and talk to me like everything okay. She gonna know, mess, but I'm thinking that's okay. That's not okay. You know what I'm saying? You start learning. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm still learning. I'm still growing. And I'm saying that's what it's all about. We trying to get better because relationship, especially if you've been wounded, it takes somebody wound to heal longer than others. You know what I'm saying? And it takes people that have patience, understanding, compassion.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what and it's a lot of work. Don't think, we talking about this. I'm just saying for me, it's a lot of work trying to be equal.
Mhm.
You've been wounded emotionally, you know what I'm saying? It's easier to heal physically than emotionally, you know what I'm saying, for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right.
I used to say,
Man,
I'm
that's
tell
a
you,
big statement, but it's true.
I'm gonna tell you, no, I'm saying, and Selena used to tell me that. She said, man, I'd rather you hit me than you say the things you say out your mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She said it, and I didn't understand that. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
remember my wife now
Yeah.
told me one day, I did something, I hurt her.
Yeah.
I said, baby, I protect you. She said, yeah, but you didn't protect my heart. See, I feel that's emotional, most feelings right there. You know what I'm saying? So those are more than just
Yeah.
Larry, do you mind if I read something real quick?
Yeah, go right ahead, man.
I want to say, man, I really, 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 really appreciate the transparency on the show tonight. Not just from Keith, but from everyone on the audience, man. I really got to give Sid a little praise because this brother here is like really opening up and he's being transparent. Right here, he says his pops, meaning his biological father, is figuring it out the hard way. Materials was not what I needed from him as an apology, and he always would treat me like trash and then try to give me more video games and stuff, and I'm learning that. The one thing that I really would understand is when Sid would come home from the weekend with being with his dad, me and my wife had to Sid would come in a little different, right? And you got to understand, I'm not going to put Sid's dad out there. Uh, Sid his dad was a celebrity barber. He would cut NFL stars' hair and this and that, right? Michael Irvin, all those guys, he would hang with them. The thing that me and his mom were trying to show was reality of we're blue collar workers, right? Like this is the real life. And at that point, the 12, 13-year-old kid won't understand that, right? They're going and they're hanging out and they're doing this, but it was like to hear him say that at 31, 28 years later, realizing what was going on. And then he further says, I'm just finding out at 31 years later, 31 years old, I got so angry one day, God put something in my head. And the next day I went to get tested and actually just now found out I am diagnosed with ADHD and bipolar. Says, I wish I would have been tested when I was younger to understand that the problem wasn't Vincent, meaning me. It was my immature mind state and slow development. Man, you can't get no more transparent than that,
Oh
bro.
man, that's
Bro,
very,
I commend
very
you
open.
for being transparent. But if I can say this extraordinary, man, I really would. And this just put in my spirit whenever Sid put this out here. Me and Keith been on either for 20 years now, Keith, 15, somewhere around there. I want us to do a show extraordinaire. I want to get Sid on, and I want to get one or two of Keith's children on here so we can talk about what they saw as kids and how that either impacted them or got them to want to be different in how they are now. Can we put something like that together to where we can get them on here to where we can have not just the old guys here, right? We had my wife on a couple shows back. We had Luke on sometime last year, whatever. But I feel like right here with the gems that's being dropped right now, we got to get our oldest kids on here so that they can talk about what they experienced and then what they see today in us and how it's impacted them.
Yeah, that sound like a great idea. We can make that happen.
Well, we're gonna be a lot of crying and a lot of hurt mine because I did some terrible things at one time. I was that person. Man. I don't know about that. I don't know. I gotta think about that. I'm gonna say,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm not saying. Listen, let me finish right there. I'm not saying a no to it. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I'm just saying for them, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? But if it's gonna open some wounds for them, I have to check with them. I'm okay with it. Like I
Gotcha.
said, but it might open some wounds because it like you said, I believe, like me knowing, I believe me and Selena's healed with it, but I don't know, you know what I'm saying, because Desmond and Ladiana, you know what I'm saying, like I said, I was a different father. I was a
So when I
different,
say that, Keith, I don't mean to get all up in the business
but
part.
I know, I'm not, I'm
Certain
not,
aspects.
but I'm just saying it, but
Yeah.
you still not to get into it, but it'll open something. Again, I'm okay with it, you know what I'm saying, that they okay with it, but I'm saying,
Yeah,
for them,
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
I'm saying, but them, I had to ask them. I'm cool with it. Like I said, I'll speak to them about it, but I like I said,
Gotcha.
I know
Yeah, let's talk
Yeah,
about it. See,
I
yeah,
know the side. I know the side that I don't know that they went through, but I know it ain't good. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if they will open it up or not. But I'm cool with that if y'all want to do it. If they want to do it. Yeah.
so I'll read you. Said he's open to it. Ladiana says, "Oh, he's saying that because he know I'm emotional and sensitive."
Yes. You know she's not going. She's not going to just sit in here and talk, and it's going to open something, and she can, like I said, but it's up to her. And I said,
All good. All
like,
good.
like I say, I already know dad. He tell me about the type of dad I was already. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's different time, different people. You know, again, like me and Ashurnell talk about our older kids and our younger kids. It is a difference. I was a different person then than I am now. You know what I'm saying? And I can go in back. I raised my sister-in-law, my sister-in-law them too. They say how I was. You know what I'm saying? It was a different time and different I am now. So I don't mind doing it. I don't want to open up no wounds for them. You know what I'm saying? So if Ladiana's okay with it, I'm good with it.
Cool.
What she
I
say?
just wanted to drop the seed. There's no rush, but I want us to think about that because we have so many gems that's been dropped tonight, man. This is one of those ones that's just. I was supposed to be off here at 8:15. It's
Yeah.
8:40,
But that's how good it
and
was.
I'm still here.
That's how good it was.
But I know, but it's a good, like you said it here. But it's open one, and I'm saying like I'm good with it. Yeah, I'm good with it, and I'm hoping that they can be good with it. I'm good with it. Like she said, like the other say, she might need to cry a little bit, but I'm okay with it. You know.
Right. And let's just stir the pot
Yeah.
where we can, we'll talk about it and then we can schedule it when it can when it can actually happen.
I think
Yes.
that'll be a good show. I think it will.
Yeah.
I think,
Very
yeah.
good. Very
Right.
good. Very
Now,
good.
for those of you all who out there, you've been enjoying this. We've been unzipping our heart. Folks in the chat room, Sid, Ladiana, Selena, Fletcher, Vincent, myself. I mean, we just been speaking our truth. That's a popular statement, huh? Our truth, your truth. But a lot of that talk that you hear on social media is wrapped up in plastic, in a mask. It's for clicks, for your like. Over here, not saying we the only ones speaking the truth, but we are talking from some real personal life experience that have happened to us in our life, the struggles, and that we are healing, the process of healing, and we're moving forward. What I'm saying, friends, we're grinding together. That's why we invite you to join our community. Let's grind together. Let's figure this thing out together. We really appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. Brother, y'all want to keep it going on? Vincent, man, thank you for hanging out with us as
Thank you.
long as you
Thank you, man.
did.
Thank you. Yeah.
Man, I would
Yes,
love to.
indeed.
I would love to, but man, I've already overextended, and I
No,
know.
we done. Yeah.
Like I hate getting off here, man, because we so much
Yeah,
on fire.
because it's
But
true.
I will say this: when we give such a good show like this, it makes people want to come back.
Yeah, yeah.
So sometimes we may need to condense it and shorten it to make them like, because if we go too long, then we go,
You
so
may
we
lose
gotta
it.
find a happy spot.
Yeah, you gotta have a stop place
Yeah.
to stop. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, on that note, then, brother, maybe we'll end it. Fletcher, what you got something you want to add, brother?
Man, I just want to say this to, like said that to the, children, women, I'm gonna speak for a man. I tell every kid, what I'm saying, about their parent, like a father, he wasn't there. And I tell him, I say, look, I'm not making no excuses. I said, but one day he might come knocking. And it might be what God did when God kept him away from you for that time because he wasn't ready to be that father. One day he gonna come knocking to be that father. It's up to you to experience that. It's up to you for God to be right there at that right time. He can be the best dad or the best mother, but you got to give him a chance. That's all they asking for, an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And whatever the opportunity is between you and him, the time will tell. But at least give him the opportunity. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Oh wow, man!
No,
that's really good.
That's great stuff. I just want to say
There's some good writing in the chat, man. Go ahead on, Vincent.
I just want to say thank you to Latiana, Selena, my son Sid, for just being vulnerable, for being transparent, for putting up with me and Keith, for putting up with me and Keith all these years, right? Selena, you had the blunt of it first, right? There's a lot of stuff that you've seen with the evolution of us, and I just want to say, Keith, man, I miss you, brother. I know we had a little beef about the little side bet that we had, and we really hadn't been like talking like we need to, man. But I miss you, man, and I do want that back, man. So whatever beef that we had about that stupid bet, it just ain't worth our friendship, man. So I'll be over there soon, so we can chop it up, man. So, but I'm being transparent on this here, man. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen. I like to say, I know we got to go. In due time, it will come. I already knew that, man. I would, like I said, I wasn't tripping. And
Yeah.
it would be done with the right time. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
it. The right time is the right time. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, from our heart to your heart, this is the world premiere Word on the Street. We see y'all next Thursday.
And that wraps up another powerful episode of world premiere Word on the Streets. We're live every Thursday evening at 7:30 Central Standard Time, and we'd love to have you join us again. So take a moment to subscribe, tap that like button, and become part of this growing community. Until next time, guard your thoughts, speak only what you truly want to experience, and stay laser focused on what matters. Your words shape your world, and your mindset fuels your mission. We'll see you again. Same time, same place. Right here on World Premiere Word on the Streets, where truth meets transformation. Stay strong, stay grounded, and as always, stay true.